If you're watching this in the UK, May the 1st is not a random date, it's a line in the sand. Because right now, the story around Iran is still live, still unstable, and still one of those situations where people tell themselves it is just another foreign headline, right up until it starts showing up in everyday life. There are reports of a possible ceasefire push, but Reuters says that has not been independently verified. The Strait of Hormuz is still the key pressure point, and Brent crude was still around $110 a barrel on April 6th. And that matters here in Britain because foreign wars do not stay foreign for long. They hit through fuel, through food, through transport, through energy stress. Reuters reported that the UK's Food and Drink Foundation now thinks UK food inflation could head towards 10% by the end of 2026 if disruption continues. British Airways has already extended some Middle East flight cuts, and the EU has told members to prepare for a prolonged disruption to energy markets. So this video is simple. I'm going to give you 10 items I think normal UK households should get before May 1st, 2026. Not because I want you panicking, not because I think everyone needs a bunker, but because the worst place to be is not unprepared after the fact. The worst place to be is seeing the signs, knowing the squeeze is building and still waiting until everybody else moves at once. Welcome back to Charlie Survival. If you like calm, practical UK preparedness without all the noise, subscribe. And comment below of the one item you think most British households still leave too late. By the end of this video, you'll know what actually matters first, what removes fragility the fastest, and what I would prioritise right now if I wanted my home to feel more stable before this month gets more expensive, more tense and more reactive. Right, item number one. Fuel you actually use. Let's start with the one that turns a global problem into a personal one faster than almost anything else. Fuel. Because when people feel uncertainty, they do not calmly build a measured plan. They delay, they ignore it, then suddenly they all react together. That is when queues form. That is when people top up too late. That is when a normal trip becomes annoying, expensive or stressful for no good reason. So my rule is simple. Keep your vehicle above half a tank. Not I'll sort it tomorrow, not I've probably got enough. Above half. And if you're doing it legally and safely, keep one proper fuel can rotated. Not to hoard, not to act like a survival fantasy character, just to give yourself breathing room. Enough to get to work, enough to pick someone up. Enough to avoid joining a stupid queue when everybody suddenly realises the same thing on the same day. Preparedness often looks boring before it looks smart. 2. Backup power. This is where a foreign war stops feeling foreign because blackouts are only one version of the problem. The real danger is the slow squeeze. Grid stress, short outages, local disruptions, energy saving measures, restrictions. And we are already seeing versions of this elsewhere. Reuters has reported fuel rationing in weekly public holidays in Sri Lanka to conserve fuel. Higher power prices and reduced operating hours for businesses in Egypt. And energy saving measures or electrical rationing in parts of Africa, while Europe is openly preparing for a long-lasting energy shock. And when that kind of pressure reaches a normal home, it does not feel dramatic at first. It feels annoying. The lights flicker, the Wi-Fi drops. Phones are half dead. Someone is trying to check the news. Someone else wants to charge something. It gets dark. The house feels tense. And what started as just another headline suddenly feels like it's reached into your kitchen. That is exactly why I think a proper home backup setup matters now, not later. For this video, I'm working with all powers on the R1500 lights plus the SE200 portable solar panel. What I like about the R1500 light is that it hits that realistic sweet spot for a UK household. It has 1056 watt hours of capacity, 1600 watt output, a Life PO4 battery, it's super quiet at 35 decibels of noise, and up to 650 watt solar input, with a full AC recharge in about 90 minutes. That is the kind of unit that feels practical in a real house, and paired with the SE200 foldable solar panel, it gives you a practical way to charge back up during the day while the wider world feels uncertain. For me, that means phones first, router first, lights first, radio first, laptop if needed. The things that stop a house feeling like it's slipping out of your hands. I'll put the link in the pinned comment and the description if you want to get your hands on the R1500 light and the SE200 setup. And use the code Charlie10 for 10% off the entire All Powers website. Right, back to the list. 3. Cache and key document backups. This is the one a lot of people overlook because modern systems feel permanent right up until they wobble. Card payments go down, apps stop working properly, internet gets patchy, a shop's terminal fails, a petrol station goes cash only, and suddenly that person with a bit of cash in small notes looks a lot calmer than the person waving a dead phone at a dead card reader. So no, I'm not saying hide a fortune in the house, I'm saying keep a sensible amount of cash available. Small notes, easy to use, enough for fuel, food and short disruption. And while you're at it, back up the boring stuff: ID, insurance, important numbers, addresses, basic account information, emergency contacts. Because when life gets messy, friction becomes the enemy, and half of preparedness is just reducing friction before you need clarity most. 4. Head torches, spare batteries and power banks. People always think candles first. Candles are fine, but a head torch wins, because a head torch turns you from a confused person in the dark into a functional human with 2 hands. That matters when you're sorting the dog, checking the fuse board, finding the radio, helping children, cooking, or simply trying not to turn a small problem into a stupid accident. So keep this one simple: 1 decent head torch, spare batteries if it takes them, a lantern if you want broader room light, and a proper power bank for your phone. Because your phone is not just your phone anymore, it's your torch, your map, your weather, your messages, your camera, your banking, your information. Keep that alive and all your stress drops fast. 5. Water storage, and a basic way to make water safe. This is one of those things that sounds extreme until it suddenly doesn't. Most people in the UK barely think about water at all until there's a burst main, local outage, contamination issue, storm problem or service interruption. Then it becomes the only thing they care about, because water problems destabilize a household very quickly. So keep this simple: some bottled water, some fillable containers, and 1 basic way to make questionable water safer if you had to. That might be a filter bottle, that might be purification tablets, ideally both. You're not doing this because you think the end is tomorrow, you're doing this because dependence without backup is fragility. And quick one here, because a lot of you always ask what I'd actually buy. If you want a practical place to start, I've got my Charlie Survival Amazon kit list linked in the description. It is there as a useful gear resource so you do not have to dig through endless rubbish trying to work out what is actually worth getting. And while you're down there, the easiest next step is my free blackout checklist. That will help you spot what you already have and what you are still missing. And if you want the full step-by-step home setup behind all of this, that is exactly what the UK Crisis Readiness System course is for. This video gives you the items, that course gives you the bigger UK specific plan, and just for the Easter holiday you can get it for half price. Right, item 6. 6. Shelf-stable protein. This is one of the most overlooked categories in food storage because people buy carbs first: rice, pasta, noodles, crackers, oats. And yes, carbs do matter, but if you have no protein, you feel it. Meals become less satisfying, energy dips, hunger feels worse, morale drops, and when panic buying starts, protein often feels thin very quickly. So think tinned fish, tuna, sardines, mackerel, beans, lentils, chickpeas, tinned meat if you eat it. Protein bars as a convenience backup. You do not need a warehouse, but having a couple of weeks of protein you actually eat is one of the fastest ways to make your pantry feel serious instead of decorative. 7. Carb staples plus the things that make them edible. This is your calorie base: rice, pasta, oats, flour, wraps, noodles. The cheap, dense foods that actually keep a household moving. But here is where people get this wrong. They buy plain staples and forget the things that actually turn the staples into meals: oil, salt, stock cubes, sauces, spices, basic seasoning. Because technically surviving is not the same as functioning well, and one of the biggest preparedness mistakes is building a pantry that looks impressive online but feels miserable in real life. So to not build a museum pantry, build a live pantry. One you rotate, one you actually cook from, one that still feels familiar if the supermarket becomes a headache for 2 weeks. 8. OffGrid Cooking. This is the item that makes your stored food actually usable, because if the power is patchy or you're trying to reduce how much you rely on the mains, you need a way to boil water and cook basic food. So for me this is straightforward: a camping stove, fuel, a lighter, matches as backup, a small kettle or pot, and a manual can opener. That last one sounds embarrassingly basic until you realise how many people could buy a stack of tins and still fail the simple test of opening them when the power is out and everybody is already already irritated. Very little money here removes a surprising amount of fragility. 9. Medicines, first aid and electrolytes. This is the category people suddenly care about when they need it now. Pain relief, antihistamines, plasters, dressings, antiseptic, basic wound care, cold and flu bits, anything your household regularly uses. Then add electrolytes or oral rehydration salts. Because when people are ill, stressed, not eating properly, overheating or dealing with stomach issues, dehydration hits harder than they expect. Small product, big difference. And if you're on regular prescriptions, the real prep is organization. Stay topped up best you can. Do not leave it until the last minute and hope the system runs perfectly. 10. Hygiene and sanitation. This is the least exciting category on the list, which is exactly why people neglect it. Toilet roll, soap, toothpaste, washing up liquid, bin bags, wipes, disinfectants, laundry basics, feminine hygiene products if needed. Preparedness is not just calories and gadgets, it's keeping a home feeling clean, manageable and psychologically normal when the wider world feels slightly off. If these basics run out during a stressful patch, the whole house starts to feel chaotic much faster than people expect. And I want to give you one bonus item because I think it matters more than a lot of shiny gear. Bonus item, a simple plan. Who do you call? Where do you meet? What happens if one of you is out and the internet drops? What happens if the lights go out while everybody's trying to work out what is going on? Because buying things without connecting them to a plan is where people end up with clutter instead of readiness. And that's exactly why I keep saying preparedness should feel calm. Calm comes from clarity, from knowing what matters first, from knowing where things are, from not making every decision for the first time during the problem itself. So let's recap. Before May 1st, 2026, the items I would prioritize are fuel you actually use, backup power, cache and key document backups, head torches, batteries and power banks, water storage and a basic way to make water safe, shelf-stable protein, carb staples plus oil, salt and sauces, off-grid cooking, medicines and first aid and hygiene and sanitation. That is the core, not because this is the end of the world, but because this is how a normal British household gets squeezed when the wider world becomes unstable. So if this helps, comment below with the first item you're sourcing this week and subscribe for more calm, practical UK preparedness. Click the link in the description and the pinned comment to get your hands on the R1500 setup. And use the code Charlie10 for 10% off the entire All Powers website if you want to upgrade further. The easiest next step is my free blackout checklist. Download that first and use it to spot your weak points quickly. If you want to go deeper, the full UK specific system behind all of this, check out the UK Crisis Readiness System course. And if you want to see the practical gear I personally start with, the Charlie Survival Amazon kit list is there as well. If you found this one useful, I recommend watching this one next about the 4 skills that survive every economic collapse in history. Stay prepared, not scared, click it and I'll see you over there.